Hello, Weirdo family. I'm so glad you clicked on this video for a few reasons. Before we get into the actual video, I'm going to talk to you about my nails real quick. I'm going to leave a video up in the cards for you guys on how I did my fill-in with builder gel, because that's what I have over my natural nails right now. I've got this dip kit from Glitzzy Dips. I'm going to leave all the info down in the description box for you guys. I gotta tell you, okay, first of all, if you're a beginner, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you clicked on this video. Watch the whole thing. I have so many things to talk to you about. This is going to be like a back to basics type video. I'm going to do it very beginner friendly. This kit is 40 bucks on Amazon. I didn't pay for this kit. Full disclosure, this was sent to me in PR. The owner reached out and wanted me to try her products. And being an Amazon company, I've had very hit or miss experiences with Amazon stuff. And I don't know if I want to spoil it for you and tell me which way I was on this one. I'm just going to let you guys watch and we'll decide together on whether or not this is going to be a hit or miss. This is everything the kit comes with. 8 dip powders. They're all glitter. If you or someone you know loves all the glitter nail stuff, this kit is probably right up your alley. It came with the brush. It came with 2 files. This one is a buffing file. It's very soft and squishy. That's what we're going to do finish buffing with. It came with this beautiful rose, I can never say this word, rose gold cuticle pusher. This file, it doesn't specify what the grit is, but just from feeling it, I think it's a 100-180, which is perfect. And it came with the 3 dip liquids, the base, the activator, and the top coat. Now, those of you who have been around for a while probably know or have heard me say that I hate dip powder top coat. Hate passionately, like with the power of 1,000 suns. I hate... Yes, I'm dramatic, but you love me for it. I hate dip powder top coat. There have been very few that I have used and not had an issue with. I find, just generally speaking, I don't like them. I prefer gel top coat, so much less stress. I went ahead and swatched out all the colors for you, so I'm going to let you see them one by one. All the colors come in the kit from what I know, and if I find out differently, I'll let you know down in the description box. But I believe this is only available in the kit. You can't get them individually, although I'm going to do a little research. I'm going to reach out to the owner and get all the details for you guys. But this will be in my Amazon storefront in case you feel like picking it up. Now, let's talk about the powders for a hot second. They were slightly inconsistent, and the only thing I can think of to talk about is a few of these were super high, like pigmented full coverage, and a couple of them were a little bit on the sheerer side. The holographic silver and the holographic gold, they're all hollow, by the way, which, you know, I love my hollow. I'm a hollow addict. The gold and the silver were a little bit transparent. I only did 2 dips on the swatch per usual. The blue and the pink and the purple, pretty much all the other colors were pretty much full coverage. Matter of factly, you're gonna see when I get this stuff on my nails. Now, doing dips on your nails is very different than doing dips over clear swatches, because your nail is opaque. It's got skin behind it, right? So the blue that I used, that you're going to see me do, is 1 coat coverage on my nail. I'm only doing 1 dip. I didn't plan on it, but that's what's going to happen. I'm only going to do 1 full dip. I did prep my nails with peel off base coat. I did it over my builder gel. It's just 1 coat of peel off base coat. I let it, I almost said cure. It doesn't cure. I let it dry for about 5 to 7 minutes until it's completely dry. It's not tacky or anything. We're going to get into the liquids. As you can see, the base, the dip base, it seems to be a medium consistency, and it does have that nice wiper insert in the bottle. That's going to help you, well, it's going to help prevent you from flooding your cuticles when you put on your dip base. So we're going to go ahead and get into this application. Now, this is going to be a, but Marla, why are you doing that type video? And I'm going to explain as I go. At least that's where I'm thinking this is going to go. As you can see, the powders do come sealed, which is awesome. And it was packaged very nicely, by the way. I had faith that everything was going to be fine. I opened it and everything was good. So I am not using anything aside from clear dip powder That's not in this kit. I'm not going to use an e-file. I'm not going to use gel. Nothing. I'm using only what's in, I'm not even using my own files. I'm using just what's in this dip kit. But I am using clear because I encapsulate. It's my thing. So I put my base down. I always start towards the center of my nail because when you put your base brush down on your nail, whatever point on your nail your brush hits first, that's where the most product is going to be applied. So I want to start in the center of my nail. That way I don't flood my cuticles. And as you could see, I gently pushed the brush up towards the cuticle and then pulled it back, covering the entire nail. I dip my finger in, not at a 45-degree angle, like most people tell you to do. Why don't you do that, Marla? I have found, in my experience, that especially depending on what base you're using, if you go in at a 45-degree angle, you could get a ledge at the front of your nail, and that's a pain in the butt to try and file, so I don't do that. Then I go around the perimeter of my nail with a cuticle stick or an orange wood stick or a toothpick or whatever you have on hand, and I clean off any excess from my sidewalls and from near my cuticle. This shouldn't be something you need to do, really, if you're precise with your application, but things happen. Sometimes product moves and you just need a little bit of help cleaning up. That's the toothpick, orange wood stick, great tool for that. So I'm going to go ahead and get this on all my nails, and as you can see, so far. Now the tell is obviously when I go to brush it off and apply my base over this, how full coverage it's really going to be. And you're going to see in just a bit that when I brush off all the excess, and I brush off lightly because I don't want to disrupt the glitter. This is the first time I'm using this base. I don't know about its dry time. You want to proceed with caution a little bit until you get to know the products you're using, right? So I'm going to brush off very, very gently and go back in with my base. And it was evident that I was not going to need another dip of glitter. And why put it on? You know, people have this mindset, no people in particular, just people in general, maybe, have this mindset that you have to do a certain amount of dips and it just has to be that way no matter what. And I just don't find that to be true. While I have a regular routine, and my normal routine is 2 dips of color, 1 dip of clear. That's like my go-to routine. But that's adjustable depending on the thickness of your product, the pigment of your product, the opacity of your product, the formulation of your product. Everything is different depending on what company you're getting it from and what formula they use, et cetera, et cetera. So for me, with this particular system, I found that 1 dip of glitter and the 1 dip of clear was completely fine for me. If you're doing this over your natural nails and you don't have an overlay, like I have builder gel on my nails, you may want to consider a dip of clear first and then like kind of sandwich that glitter in between dips of clear. You know what I'm saying? Like clear, then glitter, and then clear. For 2 reasons. 1, that clear is going to add strength to your nail. It's going to add a little bit of thickness, which will make your nails a little bit stronger. But also, putting clear down before you put down your glitter will help with soak off removal if that is the route that you're going. If you're doing peel base, it's going to pop off regardless, but you do want that extra little bit of clear. Why do I clear encapsulate? I do this again for 2 reasons. 1, because as I just said, the clear is going to add strength to your nail. Clear acrylic is the strongest acrylic out there. Anything that you add into acrylic compromises the integrity and makes it not as strong. So I'm going to add a little bit of strength to my nail with the clear, but also I am going to be filing a very, very little bit, as you're going to see, and I don't want to risk cutting the glitter because most glitter on the inside is actually silver. It's just colored on the outside. So if you cut the glitter, it may kind of disturb the entire design of your nail. And if you're going to spend the time doing your nails, you want to make sure they look a certain way. And for me, that certain way does not involve dull, lifeless silver glitter in the middle of my beautiful blue hollow mani. Thank you very much. So I'm going to go ahead and encapsulate. I'm going to encapsulate, and then I'm going to activate. And why do I activate? Activator cures your base and your top coat. That's its only job. It cures the base and the top coat, and when it cures the base, it solidifies your nail, makes it nice and hard so you can file it. When it cures the top coat, it makes it dry super fast, and it makes it dry super glossy. So that's the activator's job. Cure the base, make it hard enough to file. Cure the top, make it nice and glossy and dry quickly. That's what activator does. Whenever I do a clear encapsulation, which is, well, always, I like to brush it off first, make sure the base is set, and then I go in with a scrubby brush and really get all that excess clear off, because if you leave excess clear on your nails, it can look spotty or speckled or cloudy, and I just want to prevent that. So hence, that's why I use a scrubby brush most of the time when I remember. Sometimes I do it off camera and you guys don't see it, and I'm trying to be better about what I show you and what I don't. I try not to be mundane and boring, but then I realize that I can be a little confusing and unclear sometimes. So you're just going to get everything from now on. And then I'm going to go in with my activator so it cures the base like we just talked about. And in about a minute or two, we'll be ready for filing. This entire video is almost real time. I did fast forward through some of my de-dusting and the activator and stuff, but I'm really not cutting. I didn't get up out of my nail desk. This is all kind of real time. Now, this was a bit confusing. If you read directions in any of these dip products that you get, either from Amazon or a manufacturer directly, they all come with some sort of instruction. I read these instructions no less than 4 times to try and find something that was not there, but it wasn't. I was looking for the activation stage after filing, and it's not there. It says to go from filing directly into top coat without activating, which is very confusing for me because I know what activator's job is. But I'm going to do it their way. I'm going to do it their way, and we're going to see how it goes. So stay tuned. Keep watching. It's coming. So now that my nails have been hardened by the activator, I can start filing. Now, normally I use an e-file because that's just my normal routine, but I decided I only wanted to use what was in this kit. Now, what you see me doing here is I'm seasoning the file. The file that comes in the kit is brand new, right? It's never been used, and the sides are sharp. So you want to dull those sides out a little bit just to prevent cutting yourself. Safety first. Now I'm going to go ahead and start filing. I'm going to perfect my shape, get it nice and squared up. This is going to vary depending on how you like your nails and what shape you like them. For me, I like a nice strong square. Sometimes I go for like a coffin-y, tapered square type look. Today we're going to do square. My nails are short. So I'm just going to square them off real quick. And then I'm going to start what I call, quote unquote, contouring. Now, what I'm doing, what I'm contouring, is I'm making the nail nice and curved on top and getting rid of any edges. Because when I filed my shape, it created a little bit of an edge on the side. I want to get rid of that, blends it all down. I'm blending. We're blending. What was that movie? Blended. Did anyone see that? Such a cute movie. I'm a big Adam Sandler fan. Anyway, I digress. There's your, for those of you who are in my Facebook group, you probably have already answered this question because it is in my list of questions upon, membership request. But here's your question of the day. What is your favorite movie? I have a laundry list of favorite movies. One of them happens to be Blended, and anything Adam Sandler, because I love him with my whole heart. Comment down below. Let me know what your favorite movie is. Moving on. So I'm still contouring my nails, making sure they're all nice and straight and blended and stuff. And then I'm going to go in with that squishy buffer that you saw in the beginning. I'm going to grab that and we're going to do a little buff, which I typically don't do, mostly because I use gel top coat, and with gel you don't want to buff. The gel needs a rougher surface to adhere to. But when you're using dip top coat, you want that nail to be as smooth as possible, because that's going to affect the texture of your nail when you're done and you're top coated. So I'm going to go ahead and buff. And I realize that I don't know if I showed you this per se specifically. So when I'm done buffing, you're going to see how I perfect my cuticle line. I know a lot of you guys have had so many questions about how to get a good cuticle line, especially if you're not using an e-file. I'm going to go ahead and show you. I'm going to let you watch in silence, but I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my file, get right between the product and the cuticle. I'm going to file that line. I'm going to let you watch, and I will come back for top coat. So hopefully you got a good idea of how I do my cuticle lines with a hand file. You get right in there in that little space. This is why I like to leave a little teeny tiny margin between my cuticle and where the product starts, just so you can get in there with a file and really contour it and then blend it in nicely and all that fun stuff. So now we're going to get into top coat. This does not say to wash your hands or anything. It just says get the dust off. I did it all dry, no alcohol, no nothing. I had to read the instructions yet again to make sure I didn't miss anything, and I didn't. It's not there. So I'm going to do as they tell me to do, which is go right in with my top coat. Now what it says is to go in with your top coat, apply your first layer non-specifically. It just says don't overdose on top coat. Okay. Sure. And then it says reapply your top coat until it dries glossy. I'm going to disagree with this. I'm going to disagree with this on a couple of fronts. First of all, the top coat is actually quite nice. This was one of the only top coats that I didn't find burns my eyes. I don't know what about top coat it is. It might be a slightly different formulation than base. Base and top coat are generally the same thing. It's all resin, it's all glue, for those of you who don't know. Now, the top coat, I think, is slightly more viscous, maybe. It's got a different consistency slightly than the base coat. And I don't know if that's the reason it burns my eyes occasionally. Who knows? I didn't find any offensive odor, by the way. Not that I sniffed the liquids. Please don't ever sniff your dip liquids. You're asking for trouble if you put your nose by any of these bottles. I do not recommend doing that. I feel kind of like Candi skincare, like my girl CJ. Whenever I ask her, really, I'm like, can I eat the candy? And she's like, no, Marla, you can't eat the cuticle oil. I feel like I'm the same way with you guys right now. Please do not sniff your dip liquids. You're asking for trouble. Anyway, didn't find an offensive odor. I feel like these might be good if you are prone to dip flu. They weren't offensive, didn't burn my eyes whatsoever. I am going to go ahead and put a little timer on just because I wanted to see if this dried down, how long would it take? I don't know. This is my new Fitbit, by the way. I'm still trying to figure out how to use it. I love it. I love, love, love. It's the Inspire 2, and I love it. And now it's a tax write-off. I'm the worst. So I go ahead and I set my timer. I don't know how to use it, so I just put a generic timer on. I sat here for about 7 minutes. It was at like an hour when I started. Now it's at 53 and change, so it's about 7 minutes. It still wasn't dry, so what I did was I took the activator, because I know that dries top coat, and I put activator over all of the nails and said a little prayer. Did the activator dry the base? The top coat, rather. Yes, it did. Did it harden up the activator brush? No, it did not, which is great. The only downside to doing this is it wasn't as glossy and clear as I would really like it. So what are you going to do? I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to buff off the top coat, and we're going to redo this in a different way, because I feel like maybe when they wrote out these instructions, they were being a little non-specific or just missed a step. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to buff off this top coat using the same pink buffer I was using before, and I'm going to go in with how I would normally do a dip top coat. So I'm going to go ahead and get this buffed off. I'm going to come back and explain to you what I feel, in my opinion, is a foolproof way to do dip top coat. So stick around. Okay, now that I've gotten the top coat buffed off and de-dusted, I'm going to apply the activator. I'm going to apply the activator because, again, activator cures top coat. So I'm going to let it sit and hang out on my nails for maybe a minute or so. Just let it dry, let it do its thing. It's going to absorb a little bit. And I've often heard people say it's just going to cure it the rest of the way. Your nails are cured. If you're filing it and it's filing fine, your nails are cured. There's nothing uncured in there. It's simply to cure the top coat. So I'm going to grab my top coat. Before I apply the top coat, this is key. I'm going to take a lint-free wipe. You can use a paper towel, dry. And I'm going to rub around on each nail. What this does is that wipe or paper towel will absorb whatever excess activator there is. Now you might do this and go, like, look at me side-eyed and go, all right, Marla, this nail is dry. I don't know what you're making me do. I understand. And I would look at myself the same exact way, but trust the process because I find it to be a necessary step. You must wipe over the nails, even if it's dry. Just do it. Don't question it. Just do it. Now I'm going to take my top coat and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and then wipe the brush off on a paper towel. Same thing. 1, 2, 3. Wipe it off on a paper towel. Wiping it off, or wiping the brush off, will prevent your brush from getting hard because sometimes that activator contact on the brush can cause the liquid to start to cure. If you put the brush back in the bottle, your whole bottle's gonna cure and then it's unusable and you don't wanna do that. So I do that for all the nails one time. Now we're gonna go in with round 2. Now because the base brush is not, the top coat brush I should say, is not touching the activator this time, I'm not super concerned about going fast or wiping the brush off. I will sometimes for habit's sake, but you can go in a little bit more detailed, cap your edge, get a nice, decent final top coat layer on your nails right now. And this is the layer that's going to cure super duper glossy. And you know what? I have found this to be true of most top coats, not just this one for Glitzzy, because this is not the instructions they gave me. I made this up. But I would use this method for any dip top coat. And I have found it to be the most effective. Now I am going to go ahead and set my timer again, haphazardly, because I don't know what I'm doing. And we're going to see how long this takes to dry. And do you guys want to know how long this took to dry? In my head, I was like 3, 4, 5 minutes. Nope. I look at my watch. Less than 60 seconds. And the top coat is completely dry, completely glossy and beautiful. And now I'm shooketh to my very core. So while I go ahead and finish up with my Candi Skincare Cuticle Oil per usual, I will tell you that I will 100% recommend this dip kit, the dip liquids, the dip powders. Huge stamp of approval from MK. And thank you so much to Glitzzy Dips for thinking of me and sending this over my way to try out. I'm so happy that you did. Thank you guys for hanging out. I hope you learned something. If you did, give me a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Love you. Bye.